It's from back home. Got it for me. It's like the local soccer shirt or whatever. Ah, all right. So we're broadcasting, trying to get it centered. There we go. So I thought, and of course, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and in honor of Thanksgiving, I thought that we would deviate from the strict yogic Patanjali Sutras, then get off into a little bit of the thankfulness of our Buddhist friends. And, I just thought it was a good opportunity to kind of sit and think about what we have to be thankful for. And so I thought we would kind of go with that today. It's kind of a little deviation from our normal. I was talking to some friends last night before or after yoga, and we were talking about, how there's all these like relationships that come up, and, Thanksgiving and dinners and family, and everybody gets together, and it's always kind of like, feels like for some families there's like a balancing that whether or not is it like pure positive, or is there sometimes negative stuff can come in too. And from a yogic perspective, we have the option to figure out what we're going to let in, right, and what's going to bounce around upstairs. And so I think that it's nice to use a thankfulness practice or a meditation to remind ourselves what's positive and what we want to reinforce. And, I think, at least in my personal life, it feels like negative energy has more power. Like it makes more noise in my head, if you will. It's like I love beautiful things and I like being outside and all that stuff, but it seems like sometimes, somebody cutting me off in traffic can have like such a louder voice. And it's weird because the only person that makes that judgment or determination is myself. And so I like the idea of just like taking some time to like kind of give power to those positive intentions and positive things in my life, because by choosing the power of the positive over the negative, I think it reinforces it in my brain. At least that's the way it feels. So I figured we'd give it a shot today, because worst case scenario is we sit and breathe for 30 minutes, right? That's the way I look at it. So let's start finding our comfortable seat, whatever that means to you. But really, we really want to kind of focus on that feeling of the sits bones and the tush, those two bones in the bottom of the tush. And if we need to make any adjustments to our seat, to go ahead and do that. Once you really feel that sense of grounding and steadiness in the seat, go ahead and see if we can extend the spine long by pulling the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And then I like to open the tops of the hands to the tops of the knees, just to kind of feel that energetically that, I'm opening my physical body and hopefully my energetic body to the possibilities. And I'm going to invite you to relax your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes completely, you can stare at the tip of your nose. But the less distractions for the mind, the better. Begin to close your mouth and begin breathing in and out of the nose. Maybe in the beginning, it's shallow. We're just beginning to transition from our morning, maybe transition from our week or month or year. But just use this time to focus on the breath and begin moving away from the analytical mind. So our brain and our mind's very good at creating lists and organizing and thinking about future and past events. But just for the next few minutes, let's see if we can access some different parts of the brain rather than the analytical part. So perhaps we turn our attention away from thinking and into the breath and the body. Maybe noticing how your torso expands, fills up like a balloon when you inhale. And as you exhale, maybe feel that sense of grounding in your hips and your sits bones. Maybe beginning to gradually deepen the inhale and exhale. not just using the top 10 or 25, maybe even 50% of your lungs, but actually using your entire torso. Inhaling fully and exhaling completely. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head towards the sky. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, feeling the weight of your body pushing down into your sits bones, into the mat, into the floor. Inhaling, feeling the expansion, and exhaling, feeling a sense of grounding. Every few breath cycles, just kind of check in. Notice where your mind's attention has gone. Maybe you've drifted back to the familiar of making lists or that conversation inside of our head. And that's fine. There's no reason for negative self-talk or to berate yourself. Your mind's simply doing what it's always done. Maybe instead you can approach these deviations in our meditation as really steps along the path. Each recognition is just an opportunity for growth. So we can simply smile to ourselves and bring ourselves back to our physical body and to our breath. No big deal. Always breathing. Notice as all of the changes happen in our mind, in our body, in our practice, the breath is always there. It's always a constant. Always willing to guide the way, always willing to be a barometer for our physical and mental health. And through its elongation and focus, hopefully, it helps bring a sense of peace, a sense of grounding. As you continue breathing, I invite you to maybe think about something that you're thankful for. Hopefully many of us have lots of things to be thankful for. Perhaps it's our physical health and the ability to be here now. Perhaps it's the love of a child or a parent. Perhaps we feel lucky to have the security of a home, food, maybe car. Not making any judgments about any of these things, but just being thankful. Just recognizing how fortunate we are to be here now. And how the light from this thankfulness can even drive out the darkest of the dark. It's true that only one spark is required to illuminate the darkness. And I believe that one thankfulness can drive out the negativity. A lot of times in yoga and in meditation, we talk about having these repeating thoughts in our mind, whether it be a conversation, something else, and allowing that thought to kind of take hold and take root by heads. But the beautiful thing about this practice is that we have the ability to focus on whatever we choose. And ultimately, we are the decider. And we can choose to be thankful versus worry, versus concern. And when we embrace this thankfulness, the best thing to do is just to let it shine forth. To share this thankfulness with yourself, with others, with loved ones, with strangers. Inhaling and sitting up a little bit taller. And exhaling, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Checking in, noticing where your mind's attention is gone. Inhaling fully, exhaling completely. Each breath cycle, an opportunity to begin anew. Doesn't matter what happened in the millions of breaths that came before this. The only breath that has the possibility for happiness is the one that's in this very present moment. And as we turn our attention to the now and embrace this thankfulness, our presence allows us to be more connected, less distracted. Perhaps it allows us to open a little bit more, and a little bit more of that light shine through. Giving yourself permission to make any adjustments that you may need, knowing that it's perfectly fine. Knowing that whatever comes up is perfectly natural. That our practice and meditation and thankfulness is not a straight line. Sometimes we get distracted, sometimes we get sidetracked. But there's no reason to judge the outcome or judge ourselves. All we're doing is practicing. Setting a trajectory for a higher version of ourselves, as a happier version of ourselves. And breathing. Continue to breathe in this light, in this spirit of thankfulness. Maybe see if you can begin to let it radiate outward from your center. A gift as precious as being thankful for what we have deserves to be shared. Let the light from your most precious gift shine into the world. Let everybody that you meet bask in the brilliance of your thankfulness. Let it come from deep within. Know that your attention and your willingness to carry your thankfulness is a gift. A gift for yourselves and others equally. Still feeling a sense of connectedness through the sits bones. Still elongating the spine, pulling the crown of the head towards the ceiling or towards the sky. Inhaling light and energy. Exhaling stress and anxiety, feeling a sense of groundingness. Your attention back to the body, back to sensations, back to the present. Inhaling and feeling your side ribs and back ribs expand. Exhaling and feeling a hugging towards the center. Inhaling everything that you need. And on an exhale, letting go everything that's no longer serving you. Observing the breath. Observing the posture. Breathing. Continue breathing. Feel a sense of lightness, a sense of openness. Make sure that you're able to receive the idea of being thankful. That you're able to integrate it into your practice and into your life. making a conscious decision to observe what brings you happiness, what brings you joy. Inhaling and pulling the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Exhaling, feeling the shoulders relax away from the ears. Your body get heavy in your sits bones. Inhaling nice, deep, full breaths. Exhaling, releasing all that air back out. So I invite you over the next few days, as we have interactions with strangers and family, see if you can cultivate this sense of gratitude, sense of thankfulness for the things that we have, and know that the positive has just as much power as the negative. But most importantly, we are the deciders, we are the observers, we are the ones that are writing the narrative of our lives. And we can choose which one to hold on more tightly to. That we can embrace this feeling of thankfulness and let everything else go. Hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Being thankful for this space, for each other, for our community. Being thankful for the gift of yoga. But mostly being thankful for ourselves, for taking the time to work on us. It's not a selfish act. If we don't take the time to work on ourselves, then we'll have nothing to give others. The light in me honors and appreciates that same light that's in each of you. Namaste. Have a happy Thanksgiving. See you later.